Hello and welcome, listeners and
viewers. How have we done this? Have we done this? I think we have done this.
Hello, listeners and viewers, and however else you're getting this pod/vodcast into your brain. It's at Quasi G and
at Julian B. Davis. Are we a disappointment to you? This is what we actually look like in physical form.
In physical form. You may have heard our voices, but this is how we appear. Not normally how we appear in terms of our attire, but we'll get on to that.
I do. This is how I dress.
Welcome.
Great to see you, Quaz.
Great to see you, Mr. Bracey-Davis. Welcome to season 3, guys. As we promised at the end of season 2, we said we were going to do some pretty cool stuff in season 3. And
we're people of our word.
We are very much
definitely.
so. And this is some of that cool stuff. We've got into vodcast now in full HD, so we're very proud.
Not home amateur video. It's different than
we're not involved with that. But yeah, same sort of thing. Technology, more of the same, really.
Social media,
of course, with Mr. King of Real Time here, Mr. Social Media, Mr. Social.
I've been
media.
called so much worse than that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll sort of kick off with
our first theme of the year. First theme of season 3, really, because I don't know, it's not even a year.
It's not. And there it is. Can you see it? Do you want to go close to the camera so everyone can see? That's right.
This is interactive.
Okay. So yes.
Sit back down.
Yeah, sit back. So that is our first theme of the year, is sport and technology, because as a lot of you I'm sure have noticed,
what a year of sport.
There is what a year of sport, and secondly, what a summer of sport. 2012.
And it's summer, isn't it?
It is summer, apparently. Not if
not
you're
in the
living in the UK, because the weather is pretty shoddy at the moment.
At least the drought's over.
Yeah, and the drought where we can't get water, apparently, which is weird, because there's a lot of
What
rain.
we got going on? We've got Euros right now, Euro 2012.
Euro 2012, the French Open's just finished.
Yep, that was good.
That was excellent.
Wimbledon's mere 2 weeks away.
Yep, Queen's is kicking off pretty soon. And of course...
The Opens.
The Open and...
Golf.
And a small little thing we like to call London 2012. Woo!
I've never seen London look prettier right now.
Seriously.
Prettier or cleaner?
If you are a tourist coming to London for the Olympics, it doesn't always look like this.
No,
They've
normally
done a lot.
Yeah, normally you'll get a lot more homeless people, but they've shipped them off out country. It's sort of like World War II, where they evacuated the kids. This time they just evacuated the bums.
They've just taken them out. Full stop.
They could have taken them to Poland actually, not for any crazy reason, just to fill seats.
It's true.
Some empty seats
out there.
Yeah.
But in sort of news going on, technology news going on right now, Apple started their Worldwide Developers Conference today, which was very interesting. They announced some big updates.
You enjoyed it more than England-France?
I did enjoy it more than England-France, which was a massive letdown. I want my money back.
What happened? What was going on? Not in England-France. I watched that.
Yeah.
What happened in the Apple...
So what Apple have done is as expected, they've revamped their range of notebooks. So the MacBook Air now is ridiculously powerful. They've all got the new Intel Ivy Bridge processors.
When you say powerful, how's powerful?
Seriously
what
powerful.
Can you do?
I mean, they've got the last iteration of MacBook Pros. Now the Air had that same power, and the MacBook Pro I'll come on to is just a whole different level. So they've updated the processors. They've all got solid state drives now. So really.
So you could analyse a lot of sport and watch a lot of sport.
Oh,
for these
of course,
things.
yeah. We'll come on to that. And also
always bring it back to the theme. That's what I'm here for.
They've also upgraded the MacBook Pro line. It looks basically they're now called MacBook Pro Airs. They look incredible. They've all got Retina screens now, like this lovely bad boy here, and they just look fantastic. They go up to 16 gig of RAM now if you're a techie and you're interested, but they are seriously powerful. So check it out. In terms of iOS 6, Facebook is now integrated.
Have they brought out a new animal? Lion, cobra?
Yes, mountain lion.
Mountain lion.
But the new OS X.
See, I know my apples.
True. So the OS is out as well. Mountain lion, which is, we've known about for a while. It's got some very cool features in like.
What was the last one?
Snow leopard. No, lion. It was just lion.
Oh.
But now we've got mountain lion. Just the way they had leopard and then snow leopard.
Oh,
so
I see. Go. Yeah, I'm with you.
So yeah,
are they running out of cats?
They will be soon.
Because man's killed a lot of animals recently.
They haven't used cheetah. That's next.
Do you reckon that'll be their final one?
Just it. That's it.
That'll be too powerful. King of the cats.
So yeah, they've updated that. A big sort of change to iOS 6. They've ended the feud with Facebook. By that I mean that they've actually integrated Facebook fully into iOS now, which is great because they needed to.
Yeah. It joins Twitter because Twitter was already heavily locked in, isn't it?
Really locked in since iOS 5. They've got some really cool...
That's actually quite a big move for Facebook. They needed that. They need a little push up ever since the old floating.
Don't value your stock like that, guys.
No. Keep it in perspective. How much was our stock? Low. Very low.
Very low.
But realistic.
They've also ditched Google Maps. That was the sort of big thing. They've all now got their own Maps application, which basically shows what's happening now. Apple has sort of... They did have a feud with Facebook. They've ended that, and they've now really intensified their feud with Google by dropping their Maps application, which was one of their core things.
Everyone picks on Google.
So they've got that, and there's a lot of cool features. So I suggest you check it out. Really, that was the big piece of news.
Excellent. So on to subject number 1.
Boom. Sport. So, as promised, the theme is sports.
Nice shirt.
Thank you very much. It's a Ghana
Black Stars.
It's a Ghana shirt for anyone familiar with the colours, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the first thing you notice, viewers, when you turn on this,
is it my headband?
This podcast is what Julian Bracey-Davis is wearing.
I used to be a rower course. This is all equipment for rowing. I haven't worn it for a while. Didn't even think it'd still fit. It's still that sort of fit.
You look great, man.
Thanks. Yeah, Nottingham University. I bet you they've never been prouder to have someone sport their equipment on like this. But they were the good days.
They were.
Getting up at 3 a.m, going down to the old Trent.
Exactly.
Paddling down the river. Good times.
Yeah, myself and Julian Bracey-Davis, we play a lot of sport. We love our sport. We love our tech. And what better, in this long, summer of sport, what better theme to pick than sport? And what better attire than to dress for the part? Obviously, I kind of copped out with just a Ghana shirt. I didn't know.
You've got to realise we've got to up our game now, because that's a camera.
That is a camera.
They can see into us. Well, not into our souls. That's maybe in this actual.
Well, there's these little theorization ladies.
We've got to stimulate the audience. Before it was just like, wow, these guys are so nice.
Yeah.
And that's enough. But now it's whoa, I can see them.
What can we do?
To make these people not turn off, we need a man more like this.
It's true.
That seems like an unfortunate turn of phrase, and maybe actually the reverse is true, because I don't think I've worn something this tight for at least 3 weeks.
It's true, and that other outfit was insane. So yeah, in truth, guys, we're going to be talking about how basically sports has been transformed by technology
and recently social.
I mean, what we'll sort of go through, I'm sure, some of the technological advancements you know about and you watch every day on lovely Sky Sports News or any other sports channel.
Sometimes in 3D.
Sometimes in 3D, which is another one. Of course, cricket was one of the sort of original sports to really embrace technology. Hawkeye is, I'm sure, the thing that springs to everyone's mind when they think of sport and technology. A great system that really improved the accuracy of the flight of a ball, and now is sort of majorly underpins not only cricket but tennis.
Yeah.
Well,
it's revolutionised the sport, hasn't it?
It's
not just added a little thing of getting decisions right. It's actually enhanced the enjoyment of sport, which a lot of things we're going to talk about later is how technology is enhanced both how sport is performed.
Yeah.
The levels of performance. We're going to mention AC Milan's performance lab, which is the gritty analysis, and technology, how these players going on for longer, but also you've got the actual for viewers how it's improved their thing.
It really has.
Actual Hawkeye call in tennis is part of the game.
It's part of the game now, and I think I was saying sort of before the show that when sport first came around in technology, like a lot of stuff with technology, it was sort of a gimmick. It was like here's this little thing, Hawkeye, but as it's grown, it's become really embedded in what goes on in the sport, and it's just absolutely fantastic. In terms of the big debate, of course, coming on to Euro 2012 is goal line technology, because of course they're actually trialling this. There's a couple of companies that they're looking at in a view to pick one.
Whichever works better with Sepp Blatter's finances.
Yeah, whichever can give Sepp Blatter a cheaper deal. And yeah, it's been a real contentious point, and I think football, I'm definitely on the side of goal line technology. I think football's been lagging behind, and it'll be really good to see it. And
as long as you don't do retrospective goal line technology like 1966.
Oh yeah, unless you start awarding things that possibly never were, but no. That's how it is.
What else you got for us?
I think that's one area of sport and technology, but for me, the real area, because I'm a bit of a data nut, has been the advancement in things like training and performance that sport has done. If you ever watch any of you...
I'm chipped by Nike.
Yeah, we've both got our Nike ID chips.
Yep.
Haven't done any running, but who cares? We've got the chips. The England, if you ever watch any of the major rugby games, you'll see a group of coaches who all have MacBook Pros in front of them, usually. And
that's because there's a lot of slow moments in cricket. Rugby, sorry. So you've got to
process it all, and you got to wonder what are these coaches doing with these computers. But what they're actually doing is they're analysing the stats of the players in real time, sort of the number of rucks they're getting to, the number of distance that's being covered, and what has really fueled the massive growth in tech and sport is just how they're using it in training. Jules is going to talk to us about what Milan were doing. I didn't even know this. He introduced me to this before the show, and it explains a lot about certain football players and how they've managed to keep playing. So, take it away.
Well, no, just Milan. AC Milan, they were just highlighted as probably the most forward-thinking football club.
Of course, yeah.
They were lucky. Yeah, actually, that's more Juventus, but that's unproven. Okay, if you've won 30 trophies, you won 30 trophies. But Milan, they were just very forward-thinking in the way they embraced a lot of sports science and the technology that came with that. So I mean, they realised they had an exceptional group of players who were aging, but I'm guessing they took some advice and they were told that if you analyse your players and the way they're performing and the way you can tweak certain elements of their game. So it sounds ridiculous, but even encouraging someone to sprint slightly less hard than he would normally, or conserve his energy for another part of the game, careers were being prolonged. I mean, great examples are Filippo Inzaghi, who some say was born offside. But he played on until he was 42.
64, isn't he?
Oh, he's retired now, of course. But one man who hasn't retired, I'm pretty sure anyway, is the guy who doesn't age, which is a certain Clarence Seedorf.
Clarence Seedorf does not age. No, you can look him up, guys.
He's won like 1 million European Cups.
Yeah.
That's more than has ever been hosted because he's been around for that long.
Yeah.
For several different clubs. But Milan really prolonged his game at the very height, at the top of his career. And of course, some English clubs took note.
Yep.
And the most recent of that is because Man United may or may not have certain financial restraints in place on them.
Who knows?
They know you've got to make what you've got last longer. So Ryan Giggs, it wasn't just the affairs and the yoga. It was also sports science.
It's true. Yoga does help, and we can't prove that affairs help, but it certainly helps Ryan.
It can't help. But it's all it's the whole bag. It's analysing the data very specifically and having almost supercomputers to process all this data and work out trends, and then having the technology like the state of the art, almost like NASA type things. They run in these weird bungee stuff. I mean, gone are the days of poor Paolo Di Canio when he wasn't pushing over rest, was just running with a parachute which unclipped and he sprang off. But that was a basic form of technology. But that's prolonging a whole length of a team.
Yeah. And it's only going to get better in the future. A lot of this stuff now is making its way to the consumer level. So now got big clubs having this technology. What they're doing in football boots is they're putting sensors. You can now, as a consumer, buy a pair of football boots that has a sensor. And no matter if you're playing, at Old Trafford, or you're just playing in Rains Park Girls 5-a-side on a Wednesday. You can track where you've run, you can track all that good stuff.
Shino grammarians
on a Saturday. It's fantastic, all this tech. So, in a nutshell, that is tech and sport. It's really interesting. And one last thing that I'll talk about, because I recently have ventured into the foray, is 3D. It used to be a gimmick, but for certain sports it works better than others. I've been watching the French Open in 3D, and it is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I think that's sort of the next, improvement in sport. Not great for football, because it's very hard to capture a lot of football in 3D. There's a lot of angles and all sorts. But tennis, really good one for 3D. So look out for that, guys.
Yeah.
And
right at you.
Right at you.
Federer's in your room.
Federer's in your room. That would be amazing.
He'd be gutted, wouldn't he? Is that it? Have you got any others? Or is that all of your? I mean, you can. Remember, we've changed the whole format now, cause you can actually look at your iPod. Because it's not as if we're trying to do it secretly. I've got notes here because we're trying to keep this sane.
Yeah, no.
So you've look it all up.
No, it is. It is. I mean, I think
I'll patter for you in the meantime. Say,
just stare at.
I can do some Usain Bolt stuff.
That really is it. I think the technology we talked about and the training is really and it's just gonna as with everything in tech, it's gonna push down to the consumer. So you'll be running your child's under 11's game that used to be just 10 kids gonna play tens in the park of rugby. The parents weren't bothered. It's just under 11's game. Not anymore. Now you get the kids chipped. You get their stats. You get them in. You get them the ice baths. You get them in the Milan
Start them
labs.
young. Start them young. If you start your child off, if you live your dreams for your child from the age of 10, you can probably prolong his career till he's 100, and you'll need that because you will need his money because they're not retiring for a while.
It's true. So that's about it really.
Well, I would before we go on to the social thing, and because I'm telling you what, I'm so excited about sport and social media because if there's ever a perfect union. It's there, there, on so many levels. But in the past, we used to have an advert to break things up.
We did. Do you remember that, viewers, listeners?
They were great. They were audio.
Audio's not a word.
It is. Audio. What is
audio?
Oh, audio.
Audio. Is that a word? We'll look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, they were spectacular for that word.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see us now, and. My words, although they were well crafted, just don't come across quite as well. Okay. I need more props. Now there is a void clause. I haven't actually worked out what I'm going to do in comparison.
Right.
Or not comparison.
So
instead of that, we don't. No, but because I want to make this more interactive, because they can see.
Yeah.
I thought before we go on social, we'd get in the theme of things and have a little bit go back to our youth as well.
Yeah.
And I thought we could open up some live Panini Euro 2012 stickers. If this doesn't make good viewing, this doesn't mean people come back.
I'm gonna say to you viewers, I did not know this was happening.
I like to surprise. A lot of people didn't know I was going to wear this.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. I really should read the show notes.
So I'd say pick one. If you've got a shiny, let me know.
If I get Benzema, I'll be livid.
Yeah?
He ruined my life today. What happened to strikers?
It's your stickers getting smaller.
Yeah, and stickers are getting smaller. The recession. Unbelievable. Okay. Also, these amounts are in euros, so we don't know how long they'll last.
No.
Topical. Nice.
There won't be another European Championship soon.
We were making some sort of warm-up videos, and we made a joke about Spain. If we, which country were we? And we made the thing of saying no bailout, and literally a day after that, Spain took $100 billion bailout for its banks. So
when you got to go, we got to go.
No one's good.
Right, pick one of your impressive, or pick a couple.
I've
got no shinies, which is pretty disappointing. In fact, they probably haven't even done.
Half
a stadium.
I've got half a stadium. It says 30,000 on it. What does that mean?
I don't know. I've got no one I really care about. I've got a Croatian player, Christian Poulsen. Right. He used to play for Seville. Okay. I like Seville.
So what's the?
I don't know. Have you got anyone good?
I've got Koluka, who's quite good.
All right, I've got closer.
Right, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Should we just go straight to social?
Yeah, let's just go. Let's move to social.
It was quite exciting, wasn't it?
It was good. I hope you enjoyed that.
If you guys show them off a minute, of course, because if any of you collect these,
you can
tweet. Tweet. We'll send them to you. If you need these for your collections, we've got 384 423 172 247, and Cos has got 120 and some others.
Yeah.
If you want them, let us know. Tweet us right on our Facebook page. So you've got at the Good Time Podcast, or
we'll give them to you for a nominal fee.
Well, no, we'll give it for free. We're trying to get people to engage with us.
Are we doing free stuff?
Yes.
Okay, for free then. Good.
I'll do it on my budget. Social.
Let's move to social.
So, is there... So as I said before I whipped out the stickers, which I'm sure you enjoyed watching every moment of that.
I hope you did.
Social media and sport. There are two things more suited for each other. I mean, putting my community manager's headband on, the good old days.
like they used to do.
Yeah.
Who needs hats?
I've always looked at sports team on the various social networks and gone, you guys have got such an easy job. And you can run through them. Just look at a football team like Barcelona or Manchester United or Real Madrid. Those three will be probably in the top 10 of most followed pages on the entire Facebook.
Very true.
Also, the engagement. The content's there for itself. They have football results. They have history. They use the timeline really well, and actually in this.
True.
It just marries up for itself so well. And some of the other ones, different sports have different needs and different uses of different social networks. For example, whether you not call it a sport, but Formula 1 and Twitter, data heavy, perfect.
Yeah, true.
McLaren F1 is a constantly, lap by lap coverage. You don't really want to be doing that on a Facebook page. So it's Twitter. If you follow McLaren, you follow even to the extent of their individual times. You're watching
That's very good actually. Lap by lap does suit Twitter. It is weird how different updates suit different networks.
So you got that's from a sort of a very basic level how different sports teams are embracing it. I mean, we've already spoke in season 1 and 2. We referenced how much the sports events drum up interest on Twitter, for example. Like I think the Super Bowl is the most covered sporting or second most sporting covered event this year on Twitter. It was probably more than that. I'm looking at 2011 stats. Let's not worry about that. The other thing is the coverage, Quaz. So. It's one thing from a team promoting itself and a sport promoting itself through social media.
Yeah.
But the actual coverage from a pundit or for a fan is completely changed. We're more involved now.
I've really noticed two of those points actually. One, the coverage and the fact that you are totally involved. Even watching good old Adrian Charles tonight on the England.
Oh, he's hashtagging.
There's hashtags.
He's hashtagging Christian Blakey.
Yeah, bazinga. There's, you can see tweets from viewers coming through on the little ITV panel, and you feel a lot more involved, and they're taking direct updates and they're telling you where to hashtag the game.
You got journalists as well, and the major networks. I mean, journalists love using Twitter because that helps them, engages with them, and as fans, we can engage not only with our players on their own Twitter accounts, but also with the coverage itself. But you noticed even in Euro 2012 and the way that's being covered by the BBC and ITV, suddenly we got. I mean, I love real time. Everyone knows how much I love real time. And I've got replays coming up on these sports blogs, the BBC's feed. They've always been good for writing up play as it's been going on.
One of the best,
now suddenly instant replays. So it's all a matter of using all these different technologies because upload a video quickly, maybe not in great quality, and display it. So they're the main sort of ways sports have embraced it with social media, and of course it is all about coverage and promotion. They're the two biggest things. I mean, some good examples of like the UFC, the fighting stuff.
Yes, of course. Which you look like you're about to enter, by the way.
I'm more was it that cage fighting from the British days with like Big Daddy and things things like that.
Nice.
Rather than Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that's true.
But UFC, £5,000 bonus for its players who promote themselves best, not players, but athletes who promote themselves best on Twitter. I mean, that's not a bad little shout, is it? Of course.
I think also for social, one thing that's really fascinated me is how I was reading an article about how like our private lives aren't private anymore because of Twitter, and sportsmen are some of the most interrogated Twitter accounts
Olympics.
That you can find.
Olympics coming up. We've got a lot of our top athletes here self-imposing themselves bans on Twitter because of trolls. Yeah, I don't want to troll hunting me. You don't want to troll hunting you when you're about to dive off Olympic board.
It is really serious that sports accounts are the people who really do get, and like as Jules was saying, they get trolls, and it's been really interesting watching that side of tech, social and sport, because that has kicked off.
I mean, it's good because of thing, Twitter, it's given people access to people who become increasingly distant from them.
Like Michael Owen.
Exactly.
Who knows?
You're thinking because he can't play football anymore, but I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more of the in the 50s. If we're going to carry it down, talking about football, cricket. Back in those days, these people lived in your town. They went to your shop. They were one of you, and now. You don't feature in a footballer's sphere because he made so much money. It's so completely foreign to you that it's the alienation of the supporter in the game is becoming increasingly distant. And suddenly, out of nowhere, the social media influx has brought these two people together again. And it's done a lot of good because suddenly you do have access to a little bit of inside of Wayne Rooney. You understand what he's going through. You understand the players.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about affairs, which is great, and he's all good now, is Wayne, and we love Wayne Rooney. We think he's brilliant,
he's a
brilliant
wonderful
Twitter.
Man.
But it's
wonderful man.
It's changing things in the real world as well. It's brought a gap that was widening a little bit closer. Obviously, the wages that's not going to change.
Yeah,
but
that's only going to get greater as we go into
you feel more and more involved with the sport, and that can only be a good thing.
That is very true. Actually, I tweet Wayne on a regular basis, and he never gets back to me. So
he's quite a busy man.
Please do. He's not even playing at the moment. He was on the bench today.
No, well, true.
Anyway, go on.
No, I'm just going to wrap up there. And there's some great examples out there already. We'll put some links on, as we always do, on our Twitter. But a lot of fans. There's a great podcast, a rival podcast in America who cover football, as in the other.
Oh, the other football, yeah.
Not soccer. But they've got a great system. They've got great engagement with their fans, and they encourage their fans to almost take ownership. The top sort of social media guy, the one who interacts with them most on Facebook, or is he pins a lot on their board, he tweets a lot. They outreached these people and said, "Would you like to cover your team?"
Yeah.
And so it was a whole network from this one podcast of a couple of people. They started having a network of a fan, a loyal promoting fan who's constantly on social media anyway, talking about their team. And they became a little sort of representative. And they got some coverage. And they got great content out of it. Everyone won.
Everyone does win.
So, as always with social media, everyone wins.
Everyone wins. That is the tagline of social media, viewers and listeners. Everyone wins. And on that note, we have come to the end of our groundbreaking.
And it was groundbreaking.
First episode of season 3. Really hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your feedback, actually. This will go up on various places.
We're coming into your rooms.
Yeah, I think this is sort of key.
Come into our rooms.
Yeah, we want to get feedback. There's things you want to see, there's features you want to see.
We need to iron this out. This is, we make massive jumps. So we're suddenly recording now. We probably should script a little bit better.
Oh, we refuse the script.
Okay.
Refuse the script. Says the man holding the script. Nah, there's not really a script on here.
But yeah, it'd be great to hear about some feedback. And well, we don't even know what the theme of next week's podcast will be, but it'll be good.
/pod. But yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yep. At Good Time Podcast Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
Tumblr page, which is
Tumblr.
Good Time Podcast.
Good Time Podcast. Tumblr or one of the things.
On Facebook, it's 100% natural Good Time Podcast solution.
Very true. And so yeah, please do. And if you've got any questions or any tech things, let us know, of course, because we always love a bit of tech.
I'm off to row the Thames.
Yeah, so...
do you reckon it's too late to catch the flotilla?
Probably, yeah. He's off to row the Thames. I'm going to try and find Asamoah Gyan.
He's gone.
And
wherever it is, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, so thank you very much for listening and viewing. Until next week. Goodbye.
Bye.